Alright, welcome true believers. My name is John and I'm your host with the freedom to draw unsolved mysteries. And we got a missing persons case this episode. And the case is the case of Laurie Lynn Partridge. This case is from 1974. It's very old, and like we always say with a missing person case, if you have any information, please contact these places right here. You too could help solve a mystery of the disappearance of Laurie Lynn Partridge. Her body has never been found, true believers. There's been a couple suspects known in this case, and we will go through that in moments when we delve into this missing person case from 1974. True believers, let's get right to it. Alright, true believers, we're going to draw Laurie's case as we're telling you about it. She's been missing since 2004, true believers. This case is from Spokane, Washington. It's a non-family abduction. So they believe someone abducted her that was not part of her immediate family. Her sex was female, race was white, date of birth 5/13/1957. If she ever was found today, she would be 65 years old. And she was 17 at the age of abduction or disappearance. Height 5'110". Clothing: long hooded navy blue wool coat similar to a monk's robe, tan sweater, burgundy and tan plaid pants, and faded blue denim Oxford shoes and crepe soles, carrying a brown leather purse with blue flower designs and braided shoulder strap. Associated vehicles: green Ford Pinto station wagon. Distinguishing characteristics: she was blonde, strawberry blonde with blue eyes. Laurie has a brown mole on her right cheek, pretty noticeable. The details of the disappearance was: Laurie left her class at Ferris High School in Spokane, Washington at 12:30 p.m. on December 4th, 1974, so a little bit after lunch. Because she felt and was suffering from menstrual cramps, she was unable to find a ride and decided to walk the 2 miles to her home in the 5400 block of South Custer Street. She was last seen walking from south on Havana Street near 37th Avenue. There were reports that a green Ford Pinto station wagon was in the area at the time, possibly following Laurie. Laurie never made it home and has never been seen again. Her parents reported her missing when she failed to report for work at the Lincoln Heights Theater. Laurie's father had bought her tickets to a Beach Boys concert, which took place after the disappearance, and the police went to the concert to see if she would arrive there. They did not see her. It was later determined that Laurie's tickets were in fact used. But authorities were unable to find them out and who used them. The contents of her purse were located in the area where she was last seen on December 6, 1974, 2 days following her disappearance. They said it was too chaotic. They did go to the concert. It was just too chaotic to check every single person that presented tickets. So they did try to do it, but they were unable to check every person that came in there with a ticket. Authorities initially believed Laurie left of her own accord and classified her as a runaway, but her family never believed this, and police have since revised this opinion. They now think she was taken against her will. She and her 20-year-old boyfriend were hoping to marry and were planning to select an engagement ring on the day of the disappearance. That's pretty weird. She worked for her high school newspaper and was on the school drill team. Laurie is the oldest of 5 siblings. She had moved to Spokane from California. Just a few months before her disappearance, and had said she would like to return. I think that was before she met her boyfriend, though. In 2011, investigators announced they had a new witness who may have seen Partridge during her walk home. Authorities haven't disclosed the witness's identity, but stated the person allegedly saw Laurie at 4:15 p.m., several hours after the last confirmed sighting of her. A Caucasian male in his 40s or 50s, as well as a white truck with dark-colored doors and a van back end were nearby. 3 suspects have been questioned in Laurie's case over the years, but no one has been charged in her case. Her boyfriend was questioned extensively, but never named a suspect. Her parents got a divorce after the disappearance, but later reconciled and remarried each other more than 10 years later. Laurie's mother died in 2004. Her father is still alive, and her case has currently never been solved. Her dental records are available for identification. Her fingerprints are unknown because there's no body. DNA is available in CODIS. Now, when she left the Ferris High School, she had asked her friends to give her a ride. I believe before she asked her parents, but none of them were able to provide her a ride, and Laurie did not have a car of her own. Her parents did encourage her to just wait because it was noon and school day is halfway over at noon, if those of you remember. She did not want to wait, and she was like an honor student, so she had no problems with leaving the school earlier because she was ahead. She was ahead of in all her classes, so she had that ability. The school didn't give her any problem leaving early that day, missing a day because she was ahead, like I said, in all her classes. This was a 2+ mile walk, so a lot can happen in 2 miles. And it is interesting to note that Ted Bundy was working in this area at the same time of this 17-year-old's disappearance. But before you get crazy with the implications, he murdered another girl 2 days prior, I think. He had just murdered somebody in Oregon or something like that. And it's like I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think they said it was like a 11-hour drive. So he would have had to have drove 11 hours and worked, and then picked a random girl after driving 11 hours and working. Doesn't really. Laurie's parents didn't really believe this idea, even though he was questioned about it on before his execution. He denied involvement. May have been telling the truth on this one. There was another serial killer in the area. I forget his name. You'll have to look that one up. But the parents were highly suspicious of him. After they questioned Laurie's fiance, he was the one police questioned the most in this. But the second serial killer, I can't remember his name offhand. Initially, sheriff's deputies thought she might have run away from home. They quickly changed this. Given her displeasure when the family moved to Spokane from California, But by the time she vanished, she had started working on the high school newspaper and was on the drill team. Detectives staked out the Beach Boys concert to which Partridge's father had given her tickets but didn't see her, eventually learning that the tickets had been used but too late to determine by whom. 3 people were questioned by detectives, including one who later turned out to be the serial killer known as Ted Bundy, but none panned out. He was the most famous one questioned. He was said to have been working in the area, but like I just told you, he had murdered someone 2 days earlier in Oregon, so it's far away. But however, Bundy did drive a lot and moved around a lot to avoid detection. I don't believe it was Bundy though, and I kind of side with the family. The family doesn't believe it either. It may have been the other serial killer, the lesser known one that was in the area. And it doesn't fit what Bundy did. I don't think Bundy would have used the Beach Boy concert tickets. He was not into going to concerts. From what I know of Bundy, he was around to support one habit, and that was killing people. That's all he wanted to do. I don't think he wanted to go to Beach Boy concerts. And the person that took the Beach Boys concerts from her did use them. Now, police and family also spoke to a witness who came forward in 1974. A teenage girl that was riding her horse around 4:15. So that was several hours after the confirmed sighting of Laurie. Spotted a man in his 40s and 50s. Now this is not Bundy. At the 1974, Bundy was not 40 or 50 years old. In a field, holding a rifle, standing with a girl who she thought looked like Laurie, and she described the clothes as to what Laurie wore. They were standing in front of a vehicle described as a white truck with a van back end and a dark colored door. When the witness looked back, the girl was no longer visible. The sighting was near the route Laurie last walked. When the witness arrived home, she immediately told her mom. When she saw later that night on the news, saw Laurie's story on the news, and contacted police. Nothing came of it. The green Ford Pinto station wagon in the area, possibly following Laurie, and days later someone also contacted police and made a report that they believed they spotted the missing 17-year-old being held captive in the back of that Pinto. These leads never went anywhere. There were a couple of other tips that Laurie's dad and fiance followed up on, including them driving to Idaho. Again, nothing viable was found. I think that's where they said Bundy killed someone. It was in Idaho, which is pretty far from Spokane, Washington, and it was 2 days earlier. I might be wrong on that, but I believe that's what it was. Laurie was very much loved by her family. When she was abducted, it tore her family apart. Family DNA has been submitted by multiple family members to build a genetic profile in the hope of identifying her if her remains are found. Several potential suspects were questioned by detectives, including serial killers Ted Bundy and Stanley Burnson. That's the other one that I was talking about. Stanley Burnson. Hundreds of interviews and polygraphs were conducted. All were determined unsubstantiated. Bundy was determined to be in Utah at the time. Utah at the time of her disappearance. From his credit card receipts, Stanley Burnson was a traveling produce salesman who lived in Spokane and had a route close to where Laurie was abducted. The mom requested several times over the years that detectives question Stanley Burnson again, as he is still in prison for the abduction and murders of young women and suspected of killing several more. In July of 2018, the detective on Laurie's case drove out to Walla Walla, where Burnson is incarcerated, to question him again. He denied having any involvement in her disappointing appearance. Her ex-boyfriend and fiance were also extensively questioned. Her fiance was never considered a suspect. So there you have it. You have the suspects. Bundy was known to never leave any evidence ever, but he was in Utah at the time. He would have had to drive from Utah to Spokane. Saying it might have been him, but he would have had to have known her. Laurie had a brown mole on her right cheek. The clothing she was described as wearing, we covered that. Laurie is actually featured in the Ace of Diamonds in the Washington's Cold Case playing cards. That's interesting. They are used by prison inmates. Wow, so they got playing cards with Laurie on them. So research found as 2016 the cards have resulted in approximately 600 tips, but not this one. Many have proved useless, but the program is indeed considered a success, as the cards have resulted in 9 cold cases being solved. That's interesting. But now, guys, we're going to show you the picture that I drew there. That's Laurie. And now this is a picture of her, what she would look like today if she was ever found. It is suspected of foul play in this one. Once again, true believers, if you have any information, please contact these places or the city of Spokane, Washington. Don't hesitate. You could too solve a mystery. This one has been around since 1974. Burnson serial killer. That's my guess. True believers, this is another one down, another one drawn. I just draw them. I don't solve them, guys. True believers, peace out.